I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This one's wife. I need protection. Do you smell that? Yes. Very distinct odour, isn't it? It's a heady brew of desperation and bullshit. Because once again, as this one's wife circles the drain, her downward spiral increasing in pace, we are given a glimpse into the desperation of the narcissism to cling onto those prime aims. The pursuit of the prime aims is the beating heart of the narcissist, the necessity of achieving and maintaining control, of nullifying any threat to control that comes her way, drawing in the fuel, her lifeblood, ensuring that she gains commentary, praise, reaction, comment. It's so important to her. She recognizes that she enjoys attention. She doesn't know that she requires it by way of fuel. She doesn't recognize that she has this inherent need for control, but it's there. Her narcissism operates at all moments of consciousness, and when there is an interaction with another human being or a potential one, to seek those prime aims. It is incessant in its application. This one's wife, in the years that I've been commenting on her, having identified her as a narcissist before anybody else did, and thereafter enabling you to understand at each step of the way what's happening and why, continues to provide you and me with material to analyze to show what's going on in her world. And at the moment, because of the repeated threats to her control posed by, for instance, the excellent press and PR that the royal family has been receiving by way of Trooping the Colour, Catherine's return, Prince William and the children at the Taylor Swift concert, the Taylor Swift selfie, etc. All of that is causing a threat to control for this one's wife and wounding her. And what has she got? What has she got by way of return? What has she got that she can roll out? Once upon a time, there might be a few talking heads that'd be speaking up on her behalf, but they've gone silent. Tyler Perry is quiet. Oprah has been silent for some time. Serena Williams hasn't been seen around. All of those individuals that once cozied up with her have distanced themselves from her. Furthermore, she's not able to offer anything. No show, no public appearances, no speeches, just rehashes. And it is an excellent observation to be able to provide to you the level of desperation that she is experiencing with regard to the pursuit of the prime aims and what she does in order to try and get those prime aims, given the fact that she's on this downward spiral. It's unsurprising that it comes from Jack Royston in Newsweek. He's generally pro-Sussex, although there have been some suggestions of late that he's starting to wake up and see that it might be wise to distance himself a little. But the report states that this one's wife, describing how Buckingham Palace rebuffed her pleas for help dealing with the media, has gone viral on TikTok. Once again, this one's wife is relying on an historic event. Not now, not even yesterday, but years ago, she dredges up something which purportedly took place at the time, albeit most right-thinking people regard it as a revision of history. The Duchess of Sussex told Oprah Winfrey she had been willing to do anything they told me to after being promised, "We'll protect you." However, she said that after a wave of negative stories, her mental health was at breaking point, pity play, and she asked for help from the monarchy. A clip of the March 2021 interview, so 3 years ago, went newly viral on TikTok, where it was liked 8,000 times and viewed 395,000 times after it was posted with the message, "This one's wife describes not getting help from the institution for her mental crisis while pregnant, due not to being a paid member of the institution. She did all this for free." In the footage, this one's wife said, "I did anything they told me to do. Of course I did, because it was also through the lens of, and we'll protect you." And so even as things started to roll out in the media that I didn't see, but my friends would call me and say, "This one's wife, this is really bad." Because I didn't see it, I'd go, "Don't worry, I'm being protected." This one's wife added that it was all happening just because I was breathing, and said, "I went to the institution and I said that I needed to go somewhere to get help. I said that I've never felt this way before and I needed to go somewhere. And I was told that I couldn't, that it wouldn't be good for the institution." After speaking to one of the most senior people just to get help, they said, "My heart goes out to you because I see how bad it is, but there's nothing we can do to protect you because you're not a paid employee of the institution." "This wasn't a choice," she added. "This was emails and begging for help, saying very specifically, I am concerned for my mental welfare." The article goes on by referring to Prince Harry's book Spare, describing 2 meetings about the media with separate courtiers he nicknamed the Bee and the Wasp. The Duke wrote, "This one's wife and I had consulted with the Wasp about the press, and he agreed that the situation was abominable, that it needed to be stopped before someone got hurt. Yes, you'll get no argument from us on that. He suggested the palace convene a summit of all the major editors, make our case to them. Finally, I said to this one's wife, someone gets it. We never heard from him again." The Wasp is widely believed to be King Charles III's most senior aide at the time, while the Bee was Queen Elizabeth II's. This one's wife and I welcomed the Bee into Frogmore, made him comfortable in our new sitting room, offered him a glass of rosé, gave a detailed presentation. He took meticulous notes, frequently putting a hand over his mouth and shaking his head. He'd seen the headlines, he said, but he'd not appreciated the full impact this might have on a young couple. "This deluge of hate and lies was unprecedented in British history," he said, "disproportionate to anything I've ever seen. Thank you," we said. "Thank you for seeing it." He promised to discuss the matter with all the necessary parties and get back to us soon with an action plan, a set of concrete solutions. We never heard from him again. So this is what this one's wife has got. A supposedly viral video, which in the scheme of many videos, 395,000 times, although that's significant of itself, isn't as viral as, for instance, some lady going, "Hook, toi, spit on that thing." No. Or other videos that have got millions of views. Now, of course, this one's wife hasn't specifically asked someone to put that on TikTok. That has just happened. But what has occurred, of course, is that there is the standing instruction which is issued to Newsweek to ensure that this one's wife remains in the news. And thus Jack Royston, doing the bidding of this one's wife, reports on this video, which is piss poor, isn't it? Furthermore, it's dredging something up from the past, and it's also dredging up things from the past in relation to what was commented upon in Spare. It's a pity play. It's a revision of history. It's bringing up the past, and it's unlikely to cause many people to feel any actual sympathy for them. It's part, of course, of this nudging that this one's wife and Harry engage in an attempt to secure taxpayer-funded security, which amounts to a residual benefit. But it also demonstrates that she really has nothing to offer at the moment for the purpose of staying in the news in order to get to the prime aims, that if the best that she can come up with is bringing up a revision of history by way of a pity play, referring to this supposedly viral video and also the contents of Spare, which is in itself bringing up the past, it's not particularly effective. Her claims at the time were laughable, preposterous, and lacked any actual veracity. And yet, she has to make it so that Newsweek report on them even now in this plea for protection, to play the sympathy card, to cause people to feel sorry for her, thus demonstrating they're under control and giving her fuel, and also to try and get that residual benefit of taxpayer-funded security. It's entirely transparent when you understand her behaviour as a narcissist, but it also allows you to see just how piss poor her attempts are at this stage, in that this is all that she can offer. Let's take a quick dive below the line to find if anybody's buying this. Deborah Camp asks, can someone explain exactly what she needs protection from? Nobody's after her. Nobody cares what she says or does. This is all one big attempt at self-promotion. She is desperate to be a star, but I think it's probably quite difficult and way too late for a beyond middle-aged minor role has been to find any decent roles in Hollywood. Mark Weston writes, sounds like she now wants to play the sympathy card. Their choice to step down was theirs and theirs alone. Martinez Roberto, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. I learnt that as a 6-year-old, something that this one's wife has never learned. Well, of course, she's unable to do so because words impact upon her, because words are fuel, sometimes positive, sometimes negative, and often for her, challenge fuel. Thus they become problematic. Spencer William, I forgot how laughable her claims were. Simply preposterous, and frankly she has no shame. Doggy, what utter rot. She was handed everything on a plate, but it still wasn't enough. Every single thing was paid for. She expected to be a princess with a load of servants at her beck and call and do nothing all day. Ellen Francis, get over it, this one's wife. It was 5 years ago. Move on. And if the firm was so bad, why did you force the titles of that firm onto your kids? Suzanne Jaser, I think this one's wife and Harry have become irrelevant. They have nothing new to offer about the royal family, so I see in the media they are rehashing old news from 2018 to 2022 about how they were mistreated by the royal family. Indeed, bringing up the past. Biscuits and Jam, yet another viral TikTok from years past. I can't deny that this one's wife needs protection and some mental health care. She's her own worst enemy. Perhaps some counselling could help with that. Annette, she was willing to do anything the palace told her to do. Why is it that never complained, never explained apply to everyone but Yacht Girl? Well, of course, nobody providing her with any supportive comments, which is entertaining because whilst Newsweek is largely pro-Sussex, those in the comments section are not, which is demonstrative of how many people see her as problematic, narcissistic, and a loser. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.